Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the JRPG Report. This is going to be episode 160. I'm your host, James Fisher, and thank you so much for waiting an extra day. Had one of those deals where, to be honest, work has been a little crazy this past year, and I've not gone to the office. Things have all been remote, but we had a couple things that the boss needed me to film, so I had two separate driving instances, one in the morning, one at night. So they kind of crammed it all into one day, and that definitely meant that I could not record on Thursday. No way, shape, or form that was going to be possible. So I appreciate you guys holding out an extra day. We're going to do our best to kind of power through this one. My voice it's a little bit, I don't know. It's under the weather. It's under a constant attack by seasonal allergies. I don't know how you guys deal with the spring, but that's how my body chooses to deal with it, and it's not well. And on top of it, I got the wild idea that I would do some yard work and got into some poison ivy. That loves to attack me each and every year as well. So anyway, enough of that nonsense. I got some fun things to talk about on today's podcast, and I want to start with a game which I've briefly mentioned over the past couple of years, and I want to go ahead and dive into it first and foremost, and that is Edge of Eternity. And I've kind of held off talking too much about it as it's been stuck in early access for what seems like years on PC, but we finally have a release date for it. It will launch for PC via Steam on June the 8th with a massive update that adds an additional 20 hours of gameplay and will bring its story to an end. And if that sounds odd, that's because they've been kind of releasing it in segments on early access to people who have adopted it early. And this full version of it will bring that to a conclusion. This is from publishers Dear Villagers and developer Midgar Studio, which is just an awesome name, right? You can't go wrong with that. But what's really could be an interest to gamers outside the PC realm is there's always been talks that this would come to consoles once it was complete on PC, and that is indeed going to happen sometime in Q4 of this year. So October, November, December, sometime in that time frame. They haven't quite nailed it down yet. So yeah, out for PC, a complete version of the game on June 8th. We'll get it later on in the year. There will be for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series, Xbox One, as well as Xbox Game Pass. This new announcement is for PS5 and Xbox Series. Obviously, those weren't around when this game was first being developed. There is even confirmation there will be a physical version of it for PlayStation 5. If you want to get on it right now on PC for a couple more days until April 13th, it's even going to be 33% off. So it's going to take it down to $16.74. I think it's $20. Normally, I don't know what that pricing is going to be for the physical edition of it, as will be the complete game. I will pass that along to you. But let's talk a little bit about this game. It's caught my interest a long time ago because it is a turn-based battle system. So if you want to draw James's attention, the first box you need to check off is turn-based. And after that, I'm willing to put up with a lot of stuff. So there's a quote from Midgar Studio founder Jeremy Zeller. He said in a press release, "We've poured our whole heart into making Edge of Eternity. It's a story of epic existential battles and intimate personal dramas. I can't wait to show it off to the world." Dear Villagers Vice President of Publishing, Julian Jamont, added, "Edge of Eternity is the perfect illustration of what we want to do with Dear Villagers. Discover talented studios and help them bring ambitious projects to life. What Midgar has accomplished with a small team is quite incredible, and we're very proud to be by their side for the launch." Here's an overview of the game. They say, in a world torn asunder, the people of Heron pursue a desperate war against a murderous invader. As this conflict opposing magic and technology grows to cataclysmic proportions, a new threat emerges from the battlefield. Wage epic turn-based battles as you follow Daron and Celine in their quest to find a cure to the all-consuming corrosion and save the world of Herion. Edge of Eternity was made possible by over 4,000 fans who supported the game via a successful Kickstarter campaign. The crowdfunding was so successful that Midgar Studio was able to work with legendary JRPG composer of Chrono Trigger, Yasunori Masuda. Here are some of the key features for this game. They say it's an enthralling JRPG adventure where your choices matter. Discover a grand tale of hope and sacrifice, filled with plot twists and heart-wrenching moments. Solve quests in multiple ways. Make your own choices and face their consequences. There is a gorgeous world to discover. Journey through Herion's unique and ethereal environments and unearth its most ancient secrets. It has a stunning soundtrack from the composer of Chrono Trigger and Xenoblade Chronicles. Herion is brought to life by a sublime subtrack from industry legend and composer of Chrono Trigger and Xenoblade Chronicles, Yasunori Masuda. Let me go ahead and do a quick plug since I mentioned the word Chrono Trigger. I'm going to be talking with Dalton on Sunday for his upcoming podcast, the Steam Machine podcast. He's actually playing Chrono Trigger right now, so we may even get into a little bit of the soundtrack and talk about Mr. Masuda's work. A deep and strategic combat system. Outwit your enemy in epic turn-based tactical combat. Use the environment to lure them into devious traps. Outsmart and outflank them to inflict massive damage. Craft gear and insert it with powerful crystals to unlock unique combinations and skills and power-ups. And of course, there's a cast of charismatic characters. Meet a cast of larger-than-life companions, each with their own personalities and attributes. Discover their dreams, flaws, hopes, and torments as you experience and share many special moments together. Of course, there was a release date trailer to go along with this if you'd like to see it in action and kind of what I am talking about. You can head over to our YouTube channel. It's right there, and see what I'm talking about. So it's a turd-based, it's one of those hex, a grid-based ones with a hexagonal, I completely butchered that word, battle system. So, you move from each quadrant to quadrant. And I gotta admit, I've not played a game like that in quite a while. So that's kind of intriguing as well. If you've been like me and you followed this game for a few years, it kind of showed a lot of promise at first, but it wasn't all too impressive. I've always watched this game evolve over the years as it got more crowdfunding as well. You could kind of see the level of quality going up each time they showed this game off. I think it's finally to that point where it looks like a pretty impressive looking game that's going to be a lot of fun to play through. And I am greatly looking forward to this one coming out at the end of the year. Like I said, check out that trailer. Let me know what you're thinking about it. If you've already played it, perhaps leave your thoughts in the comment section to the YouTube video. That would be awesome. Let us know what you feel like that is, how it's evolved and how it's progressed. And if you are looking forward to its conclusion of the story when it comes out on PC on June 8th, and again, coming in Q4 to consoles. The next game I want to talk about was actually one that I'm a little glad that we waited, as this one would not have made the podcast yesterday, as it came out early this morning. And we have a release date for the sequel to The World Ends With You, Neo, The World Ends With You. It will launch on July 27th for PlayStation 4 and Switch. And newly announced, it's coming to PC as well sometime this summer. That does seem to be the trend now, as JRPG makers have finally decided that they are okay with games coming out on PC. I really hope for a day when it can come out at the same time. It seems a little bit odd that they would have to wait to bring a digital format out, but whatever. So yeah, it'll come out July 27th for Square Enix announced. In Japan, the game will cost about 7,500 yen. Do your conversion. I'm not sure what that is. Of course, there is a special edition that's coming out in Japan as well for about 3 times as much, or, I don't know, about 3 times, close to it. My math's a little fuzzy at the moment. It will have a copy of the game, mini soundtrack, art book, pin badge, and a cassette-themed case, as well as some other little goodies. Not sure if that's going to make its way west or not. But users who purchase the game via the Square Enix store or the Square Enix eStore by August 26th will receive the downloadable content Reaper's Game Survival Set, which includes the following in-game items: a mutation badge, Kuomokutin fashion item, and the Twister Neo Mix CD. There's also a legendary Threads pack for the PlayStation Store or eShop. You get legendary headphones, the off turtleneck, short sneakers, and audio player, all kinds of things that will increase your battle statistics. So yeah, along with it, you got a short little about section. They say it was just another seemingly ordinary day in Shibuya, but not for Rindo. He could tell something about the city felt different. A girl with an ominous aura appears before him, identifying herself as a so-called Reaper. With some trepidation, Rindo decides to play along with the Reaper's game, but something is weird. Battles with monsters called the Noise, pins that grants mysterious powers, and a place called Shibuya Underground, set to set the stage for the game. It isn't long until Rindo starts to have second thoughts on his decision. They introduce the cast of characters. Of course, there's Rindo. He is one of the newest players in the Reaper's game. He's a high schooler to whom searching for info on his phone is second nature. He prefers to go with the flow, and though he doesn't go out of his way to interact with others, he won't turn them away if they come to him first. There's also Fret, who's Rindo's happy-go-lucky classmate and fellow player in the Reaper's game. Fret boosts the ability to get along with just about anyone. While he styles himself as a natural conversationalist, he prefers to keep things light, subconsciously avoiding subjects that are too serious. There is Nagi, who is another player in the game, a college student whose youthful appearance leads others to mistake her for a middle schooler. She is deeply passionate about her pastimes, devoting all of her time and energy to her favorite games. There is Minamoto, a fellow player in the game. He puts his impressive psychic powers to use when he saves Rindo and the gang from a tight spot early on, and then forces himself onto the team. There is Shiba. He currently ranks number 1 among the Reapers in the Shibuya Underground, having worked his way to the top within a year of his arrival. He also serves as the game's master, arbiter of its rules, and encourages its players to keep things hot. His psychic powers far surpass, though, of his fellow Reapers. They say that in Neo, The World Ends With You takes place in, of course, Shibuya, Tokyo. You may recognize some of the landmarks, but the city itself is depicted with an artistic touch, unlike anything you've ever seen. Definitely want to go and check out, of course, the release date trailer that we've got over on our YouTube channel to get you more than fired up about this. There are team battles that look crazy in this one. You will each teammate can equip one pin at a time, pressing the corresponding button to unleash the psych contained therein. Simple controls keep the battle moving. Switch your team's psychs by changing your pin loadout. Choose from hundreds of pins that let you attack the noise, heal your team, or boost your allies' abilities. Yeah, I think I've mentioned this before. I never got a chance to, I guess not a chance, but I never played the first one on the 3DS or nor the remake. But I know like that the unique battle system was one of the draws of it. I never really felt all that inclined to want to play it. I'm more inclined to maybe check this one out and give it a shot. We'll see. It's one of those ones I'm kind of on the fence about. I know a lot of people are excited about it, and that's awesome. But it may not be something that's for me. We'll wait and see. There was also news about the animation, and they just say that it is... wait a second. Okay, so Neo, The World Ends With You, is a sequel to The World Ends With You, the animation. It is set 3 years later. So that is some some useful information to have before going into it. I think the animation actually starts today, April 9th. If not today, it's very, very soon. So maybe you play the first game and then you watch the animation, which will set you up for Neo coming out this summer. I said the game was coming out July 27th for Neo. That is a worldwide release date, by the way. As soon as I got done recording that segment, I quickly thought, is that worldwide? Is that just Japan? No, that is worldwide. We're all going to get it at the same time. A game that a lot of people are looking forward to coming out, well, maybe the next big game on your horizon, that is Nier Replicant. It will be out on April 27th in Japan, and the next day for the rest of the world. It has gone gold, and according to Square Enix producer Yosuke Sato, it went gold quite a while ago. That means development is complete and the game is ready for mass production. I'm not sure what that means, or if that's a typical Nier joke, as they like to put on there. But yeah, there's no delays coming. It is definitely going to release on time. We got a, what was it called? Explained in 8 minutes trailer for Saga Frontier Remastered. This may be the next game on your on your horizon, as it's coming out even sooner on April the 15th. Here's an overview of the remaster of the PlayStation 1 game. They say, part of the ongoing Saga project from Square Enix that has so far produced Romancing Saga 3, Saga Scarlet Grace Ambitions, and Romancing Saga Reuniverse. Now we're getting Saga Frontier Remastered, which will be available on the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PC, iOS, and Android devices on April the 15th. The game will include upgraded graphics optimized for modern platforms to bring the game's characters to life like never before. Players will experience this role-playing adventure as one of the 8 heroes via the freeform scenario system. Each character has its own storyline and goals, exploring the sci-fi fantasy universe known as the Regions in different ways while discovering unique worlds, technology, and magic. The remaster will also build upon the original's title's multiple storylines by introducing previously cut content, including Fuse's main scenario and several new events for fan favorite character. I hope I say this right. I'm sorry, longtime fans. Acelius. That's my 2 guesses. Hopefully I got one of those right. You can check that trailer out on our YouTube channel, as well as previous gameplay trailers. Just search on the channel. You'll find some other stuff corresponding with this one. A lot of people very excited about this game. They got really pumped up when they pushed up that release date as well. So, was originally supposed to come out in the summer, and now just less than a week away for Saga Frontier Remastered. Got some Final Fantasy XIV news for you. The open beta for it. I cannot remember if I told you guys about this last week or not. But there's an open beta that'll be going on for the PlayStation 5 version beginning on April the 13th, alongside the release of patch 5.5. Official service will launch immediately upon the conclusion of the open beta. Like I said, I don't know if I said that last week or not. My bad. There was a recent live stream for the game in general, but kind of in the middle of it, Yoshi P showed off about 16 minutes of gameplay. I think he was actually the one playing it, or at least it was his username on the screen at that time. I really wanted to take, that's one of the things I really like to do, is I take these hour-plus long live streams, and then there's a lot of talk, and it's usually in Japanese, so it's not a whole lot of use to most of us here in the West. But I will take at least that gameplay snippet, cut it out, and then post it on YouTube. Unfortunately, for this live stream, they kind of had it on a monitor playing behind them, and as a I do my fair amount of video work in the field, as I did yesterday. And one of the things you really don't want to do is film a screen. You want to be able to take that direct screen footage. So I'm not sure why they didn't do that, and it just wasn't of enough quality for me to really want to repost. You completely lose the effect of trying to show off the PlayStation 5 version of the game by having it on a small screen and then filming it. But, that's just what they did for live stream purposes. But needless to say, it didn't really translate to me cutting it out and reposting it. But still, it was pretty cool that they did that. There was also a story that, and this is a crazy number. So, Final Fantasy XIV has surpassed 22 million registered users worldwide. That blows my mind, the number. Now, of course, that is not active users. The game has been out for a long time. Maybe they don't, purge the systems if people don't play it anymore, but still, that's a big, big number, even for a worldwide game. They have to be happy that they are at that point in time in terms of numbers of users. We have a version 1.07 update for Ys 9 Monstrum Nox in Japan. That has gone live now. I'd have to imagine that is in the West as well. It doesn't make much sense for it to only be in Japan, but maybe it just hasn't quite yet. There's been obviously some bug fixes, but the main version, or the main reason for the update, was it can now run at 4K resolution on PlayStation 5. I mean, of course, this is a PlayStation 4 game, so they weren't necessarily ready for that out the bat, especially in Japan. Remember, this game came out a year and a half before in Japan than it did in the West. PlayStation 5 was barely even, really being worked on at that time. But yeah, that's pretty cool that they were able to add that feature, and maybe, check it out if you've got a PS5 and you've got a copy of Ys 9, maybe pop it in there and see if that's also update has been made live here in the West as well. Here's your mobile segment for the week. Again, I'm pretty sure we didn't talk about this last week, but let me go ahead. The Apple Arcade game Fantasion Part 1 is now available. Part 2 will come out in the later half of the year. It has English and Japanese language support. The first part is about 20 to 30 hours long, as well as the second part that will come out later this year. We talked about a little bit about this one before. It's that diorama type look to it. It's got some Final Fantasy pedigree behind it, including the music by Uematsu. I haven't got a chance to check this one out yet, but I did. I've got my little iPhone 8, not to brag, but pretty up on the times there. Anyway, I decided to check out Apple Arcade on there, and so let me just throw this out to you guys. This is not a gacha game. It is a part of Apple Arcade, which I was not aware of yet, but it is. They'll give you a month for free to check it out, and it's only $5 a month after that, which grants you all the games that are available for the service, which is quite a few. And in addition to downloading this game, I downloaded one of my all-time favorite series. They're best known for making the Everybody's Golf or the Hot Shots golf games, but it's Clap Hands Golf. So it's the developers of that kind of made their own mobile version, which is a pretty faithful translation of the old Hot Shots games. Just throwing that out there if you're also a fan of that. In addition to many other art games, like I know there was like a Pac-Man type title. There was a Rayman Mini, which is based off the Rayman games. So yeah, for $5, I felt like it was very much worth the investment, and you're getting, a game like this right now, and who knows what is coming down the line. Once I check this one out, I will let you guys know what I think about it, and if it's worth $5. Well, I mean, shoot, sign up for free for a month, and I'm sure you can you can beat part 1 in 20 or 30 hours in a month. I would certainly think so. The month of June is shaping up to be pretty busy in the gaming world, at least in the middle of it for sure. We got news that an entirely digital E3 will be held this year, and that'll go on from June the 15th. From the June the 12th until the 15th. It has been known, or it's been revealed, that both Nintendo and Microsoft will be I was going to say will be there, but they will have a display there and a presentation. I don't think Sony's going to show up anymore to this event, but Capcom is going to be there, Konami, Take-Two Interactive, Ubisoft, and Warner Brother Games, just to say a few of those. Also, in the month, at the same time, at the exact same time, as a part of E3, will be the PC Gaming Show 2021 on June the 13th. This will be another iteration of the Future Games show. So we should see quite a bit of either new or updated information going on during E3 this year. Not sure when it's going to happen, but the Summer Game Fest 2021 will take place in June as well. Organizer Jeff Knightley announced. So yeah, June is going to be a very, very busy time, and that's certainly not a bad thing. If you've been looking forward to the Disgaea RPG that's coming to mobile devices, it will actually be here in just a few more days. On April the 12th, in the West, it will launch. Publisher Boltron Games announced. Pre-download will be available the previous day on April 12th. Servers will open the next day. We've talked a little bit about this one before, but yeah, this is the game that nearly bankrupted NIS over in Japan. They finally got it fixed, and it is coming to the West in just a few more days for iOS and Android devices. Let's talk about a new MMO. I don't know a lot about this game as it just got showed off, but it's called Swords of Legends Online. It is coming out to PC via the GameForge client, Steam, and the Epic's Game Store this summer in North America, Latin America, and Europe. It is an MMO title from publisher GameForge and developer Wangyang Shintang and Aragon. There is a trailer out for it that just got released, as well as a gameplay trailer that followed shortly thereafter. You can check those out on our YouTube page. I believe they're saying there's the standard edition of it is going to be $39.99. I'm sure that means there's going to be a special edition of it as well. No word on being an MMO. I don't see any information about if it's going to be a monthly charge or not. Hopefully, maybe it's just a one-time deal and not have to worry about the monthly access things. Just from a graphical standpoint, the game is gorgeous. I don't know a ton more about it. You can definitely check it out, and we'll probably have a little bit more come out about it. It definitely looks like it's based in like Chinese mythology and legends and kind of, going along those type of lines. We've not gotten a lot of Chinese RPG games, but there have been a few of them that have come out here recently. And so this one, just from a graphical standpoint, it is definitely a beauty to behold. So if you want to check those out, head over to our YouTube channel, or you can check out this as well, the second trailer for the upcoming smartphone game, Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai, A Hero's Bonds. The first trailer came out a little while ago, and now the second trailer is out as well. It is due out for iOS and Android sometime in 2021. You can pre-register for the game right now on Android devices, and they've even got a closed beta going on right now in the West. I'm guessing it's too late to sign up for that one. Speaking of mobile games, and like I said, I don't want to talk about mobile games all the time, but that is certainly the way some of these are coming out, including the new Wizardry VA, which is if you've been playing games for a long time, you'll remember the old Wizardry series back in the early days of gaming. Well, they are looking to kind of revive that series and bring it to mobile devices. The game is being developed with the concept of embarking on your very own adventure and various new features on top of the series' mainstay elements. Wizardry VA is a tentatively tentatively titled 3D Dungeon RPG revival of the series, and will launch sometime on iOS and Android devices in 2022. I never played this game back in the day, but it does have kind of that hallmark as an extremely old school RPG experience. It's kind of got that, I think it's got the first person perspective. I'm really hoping they change the title though. I don't know why VA, but that just makes me think voice actor, right? Or, living here in Tennessee, I see VA and I think Virginia. So that's, it's hard. I hope they change that one. But yeah, if you're curious about this one, if you're a long time RPG player, maybe you'll want to get into this one next year on mobile device. If you haven't already, make sure you give us a like on Facebook and follow us on Twitter for up-to-date information as these stories pop off from Gametsu and Silicon and some other sources. I definitely share those, and you can read in full everything that we're talking about. Give us a subscription on YouTube if you haven't already. We're inching closer to that magical 1,000 subscriber mark. And if you really like what you hear and you say, man, I really would like to throw some dollars James's way, I will gladly accept that, as I need more poison ivy cream, and Walgreens will sell it to me, and you can give me some money via either Patreon each month, or the link is in the description for this. You can do it directly through the Anchor app, and I am done begging for your help now. There was a live stream this morning from Furiyu and developer Historia for the upcoming game Caligula Effect 2. It was a little over an hour long, and like I previously stated, I do enjoy taking these Japanese live streams and clipping out all the blah blah blahs and getting right to the gameplay, putting that together into a video. Usually these things are all at once. They do a little bit here and a little bit there. So I take it, I splice it, and I stick it all together real nice. I think I got about 9 minutes of it total. So either you can watch an hour live stream and not know what's going on, or you can watch my video on YouTube and see just the gameplay for it. There were some people that were very excited. There's been a whole community has popped up that's really excited about this one. They enjoyed the first one. This one looks to really build upon the first game in some significant ways. And so this is another chance to look at, obviously, the Japanese version of it. But, of course, we at least know this one is coming to the West. First, it'll be in Japan on June the 24th. And then we'll get it later in the fall here in the West. So, yeah, head over to YouTube if you are curious about what this game is shaping up to look like. Capcom has released update version 1.1.2 for Monster Hunter Rise. It includes several bug fixes for the base and player, along with some other things. Updates are just a part of our new modern life. I don't know a little bit about this, nor do I know how to pronounce it. So here we go. Shinron Ninja Taisan Neptune Shoujo Tachi no Konodin. There you go. I hope you understood anything that I just said. It will launch August the 26th in Japan. So this is a crossover between the two series. The word that you probably picked up on that I said correctly was Neptune. So yeah, this is a Neptunia crossover action RPG game using the gang from the Neptunia series. You've got Purple Heart, you got Black Heart, White Heart, and Green Heart. And then confirmed so far from the Shinran Kagura series is Asuka, Homura, Yumi, and Mayobai. More playable characters will be announced in the future, including some unexpected and surprisingly big secret characters. This game will feature RPG elements in areas other than battle, including level up by experience points, skill customization, and a spirit board. It is being made easy to play for RPG fans, allowing even those who are bad at action games to defeat formidable enemies with RPG-like elements and customizations, i.e. me when I try to play games like Persona 5 Strikers. We appreciate that. Thank you for easy mode. It is much appreciated. Monster Hunter Stories 2, when it launches, what is that, this summer? No, July 9th, for Nintendo Switch and PC. At least in Japan, there will be a limited edition of it. Let's see. It is available now through the Capcom storefront. So like this, it does say this is the words are in Japanese. This may only be for Japanese versions of it, but yeah, there is a pre-order. As you know, most of these things always get special editions. This one's going to go for about $120. You get an acrylic standee, a carrying case for your Switch, and badges designed to look like Polaroid photographs. So if you're really, really looking forward to this one, you can get yourself that special edition. This just was announced not today. The pre-orders went live today. So it has been announced that there is now the 4K Ultra Mega Super UHD edition of Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. I got this thing on DVD. And then just recently, I picked up the Blu-ray version of it. It was either at this Christmas or last Christmas, because they got it down to like $10 on Blu-ray, which just seems like a steal. Well, you can now get this 4K UHD edition, as well as the Blu-ray and digital version of it. Amazon is taking pre-orders for it, and it's going to be $30.99. Still no release date on it. I think they were looking at sometime in the summer. Let's see. Let's go over here to Amazon, and does it say this title? Oh, here we go. This title will be released on June the 8th of this year. So yeah, you can head on over to Amazon. You can still pick up just the Blu-ray version for $9.99, which, hey, that's pretty good especially if you don't have, this fancy new TV to take advantage of this 4K edition. I remember watching this thing on DVD and was just extremely impressed with how good it looks. So I can only imagine what it looks like in 4K UHD. It's got to be just mind-blowing. One final story to pass along to you guys, and this is a Final Fantasy related as well. If you would like to see what the FF7 Remake Orchestra looks like, you can now do that. I've linked this on our Facebook and Twitter pages, I do believe. There's a 16-minute video of the world tour. I believe this was in Japan to a empty thing. Yes, this was footage filmed on February the 13th at the Tokyo International Forum A in Japan. It looks like there's nobody there. I wouldn't be surprised at that point in time. Just musicians up on the stage. There will be another concert in Japan in Osaka in just a few more days. Concerts are coming to the West as well. So there's one in Fort Worth, Texas, London, Phoenix, New York, Toronto, Los Angeles, Denver, Boston, Paris, Barcelona, Milan, Lyon, Bangkok, and Atlanta throughout 2021. Now, there's also tentative dates for Singapore, San Francisco, Chicago, and Nashville, although dates have not been set for those last ones. I can speak to the Nashville ones as at the, I always say this word wrong, at the Schmimmhorn. It's where I saw the Distant Worlds Orchestra. So that complex in Nashville is still shut down. They've not been playing anything. And so, this orchestra tour is waiting on that location, as I would imagine the other locations are as well, waiting for the locations to open back up. And once they do, then I will pick up tickets for this Nashville show, because that Distant Worlds concert was one of the most amazing things that I've ever experienced. And I will go back there in a heartbeat to see this one. I'm very, very excited. I'm sad that I don't know when that's going to be. When I looked at the official website, it definitely seem to have dates all filled out throughout the year. Now, Tennessee actually is opened back up for the most part, but I think this is just a case where, a gathering of that sort, and it's a smaller, more intimate thing, and maybe they just want to wait until it's able to be full, or at least, pretty full of people paying money to be in those seats. It's kind of one of those things like, do we do it half empty and, not have that full experience for as many people that can enjoy it, since it is a one-time type of deal, right? Why not wait until they can do it safely, wait until the thing can be full. And when that day comes, I cannot wait to go and see this. And I will certainly share my excitement with you guys once I know when that's going to happen. Well, that's going to do it for episode 160. Put another one, wrap it up. Hope you guys have enjoyed it, as I've always enjoyed bringing you the news each and every week. We should be back to normal schedule next Thursday. I don't see why not. And we'll get back on track. So thank you so much for tuning in this week. And until next time, get back out there and level up.